Today, as you know, we are discussing an important decision for the future of our cooperative, the decision to sell CFEC's fiber assets to rural broadband provider Conexon. Before we talk about the proposal in front of you today, however, I want to restate a simple concept, one that guides our decision-making at CFEC. This cooperative belongs to you all. Every mile of line we maintain, every pole we set, every successful storm recovery happens because members of this community believe they deserve the same reliability and opportunity as everyone else. Whether you live just on the outskirts of town or off the beaten path, everyone gets the same level of service at the same price. I've heard many times at these annual meetings and in other settings, I live in the absolute middle of nowhere, and I can't believe at how quickly my power gets restored. A math problem that we have worked hard to solve. Electric cooperatives were created because private companies would not serve rural America. Many of your parents and grandparents built this system themselves. They borrowed money, dug holes, set poles, strung wires so their families could have lights, refrigeration, and opportunity. That spirit of self-reliance and stewardship is still what guides this cooperative today, just as it has in the past. So when I look around this room, I don't see customers, I see owners, and I see family. And that matters today. Because the decision we are discussing is not something the board or management can make alone. It belongs to the membership, and it should not be undertaken lightly. Let me talk about our team at CFEC. They are you also. From our member service reps all the way to board members, they are people who live here, just like other members. They care deeply about serving their neighbors and making this cooperative great. And I have used the phrase many times before. We are family because we live together, play together, work together, and worship together. Every single day our staff shows up for this membership, and I couldn't be prouder of what they do. Over the past year, your board and leadership took a careful look at what comes next for the broadband system you helped build. We asked ourselves some straightforward questions. What protects this cooperative and its members for the long haul? What keeps our electric system strong? And what makes sure the broadband service that our members depend on continues to thrive in the best environment possible? We provided our membership not just with broadband service, but with world-class high-speed internet that is as good as, or even far superior to what can be found in many urban areas. That's the lens we used when we looked at the options in front of us. A few years ago, this cooperative faced another moment in history where rural communities had been left behind. High-speed internet had become essential. Kids needed it for school, businesses to compete, and families for everyday life. But just like the electricity decades ago, the private market was not coming to serve rural communities like ours. So this cooperative did what cooperatives have always done when the market failed to show up. We built it ourselves. Together we built Fiber by Central Florida Network, and that together is you and us. I call it the power of together. One family signs up for, another family stays with our fiber internet service, even when they have another option, because they understand what it means for another family that may have no other option at all. That's what rural Florida, rural America, and what sticking together looks like. Today, our fiber network reaches more than 36,000 homes and businesses across our service territory. Families have reliable internet service. Businesses can grow. Students can learn without being held back by geography. That was our mission. And because of the work of this team and the support of our members, that mission has been accomplished. The system is built, it works, and it works well. But finishing something and taking care of it on a long-term basis are two different things. The electric cooperative your families depend on faces real financial pressures. Infrastructure costs keep rising, storms can keep coming, and maintaining a broadband network on top of all of that adds another layer of risk and obligation. Our board had to ask honestly, are we the right long-term home for both systems? Or is there a better way to make sure that not only they survive, but thrive? So the board voted unanimously to begin negotiations and due diligence with Conexon regarding a potential purchase of the cooperative's fiber assets. Now let me explain why that vote was unanimous and why I believe you should vote yes today. The proposed transaction is a 9-figure deal. That means the proceeds exceed $100 million. Let that land for just a moment. That's what our community, you and us, built together. If approved, this transaction would retire all of the debt associated with building the fiber network, the engineering, the construction, and everything it took to bring you and I high-speed internet to all the communities around us. That's tens of millions of dollars in financial obligation that will be removed from the cooperative's books. And here's what that means for your electric bill. Every dollar of debt we remove from the broadband side reduces pressure on the electric side. The intent of this proposal is to protect long-term electric rate stability, reducing that debt and financial exposure, by reducing that debt and financial exposure. And that is a real concrete benefit to every single member in this room. Just as important, the fiber system itself will continue to benefit our communities. The fiber lines built to support that mission do not change, and the fiber construction process had us touch nearly every single pole, an opportunity to harden our electric grid and perform maintenance, making it more sustainable long-term while offering our membership top-notch internet speeds and reliability. Now, let me tell you why Conexon is the right partner to take our fiber network into the future. Conexon is not new to us. When we made the decision to build our fiber network, Conexon was there from day one. As our project manager, our consultant, our partner in designing and engineering this very system, Conexon also ensured that we could obtain all the necessary equipment and materials to construct the network in a post-COVID environment of resource scarcity. They know every inch of what we built because they helped design and build it. Since then, Conexon has become one of the leading operators of rural broadband networks in the country. The Conexon team works with electric cooperatives across America, building and operating networks designed specifically for communities just like ours. They understand rural infrastructure, they understand cooperative values, and they understand that reliability is not merely a feature, it's the whole point. Their service ratings reflect that commitment. Conexon-operated networks consistently earn best-in-class marks for reliability and member satisfaction. Not in urban markets where competition is fierce and margins are easy, but in rural communities like this one where the mission actually matters. The board sought not only the best price for our assets, but the best partner. And with Conexon, we believe we have found both. I would also like to acknowledge the people who built this network. Our employees worked incredibly hard to make this system successful. They worked incredibly long hours with back-to-back storm seasons mixed in. They supported members, answered questions and calls, and helped bring high-speed internet to places that had never had it before. This cooperative has worked hard to make sure that the people who built this system are treated fairly and have opportunities moving forward. That matters to us. It certainly matters to me. As we worked through this entire effort, the initial decision-making, the construction, and the deployment, I was reminded of Psalms 127:1. Except the Lord built the house, they labor in vain that build it. Unless the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. I believe the Lord blessed our efforts here, and I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge just that. My wife, Hallie, and I have raised 4 sons in this state. From experience at other utilities, I know what it means when the power goes out and doesn't come back on quickly. Hurricanes Andrew, Francis, Jean, Charlie, and Wilma have shown us just that. I know what it meant when families in a community like ours got internet service that actually worked. These are not abstractions to me. They are the reasons I take this responsibility seriously and the reason I will not support any path that puts either system at risk. This discussion is not about abandoning something that we built, it's about stewardship. The board's responsibility is to evaluate whether this proposal strengthens the cooperative financially while ensuring the fiber network remains stable, competitive, and well operated for years to come. Electric cooperatives were built on a simple idea: neighbors working together to solve problems that no one else would. That's how electricity came to rural America, and a few years ago, that's how high-speed internet came to our communities. The fiber network exists because this cooperative stepped up when others would not. Now, the responsibility in front of us is to make sure that the system remains strong, stable, and positioned for the future. A 9-figure sales price, fiber debt retired, electric rates price pressures tempered, a proven partner who helped us build this from the ground up. A unanimous board recommendation. Today, the final decision belongs to you. Whatever you decide this morning, know this: the work that built this network was indeed real. The sacrifices were real. And the future this community deserves reliable power, reliable internet, and a cooperative strong enough to deliver both. That is real also. That is what this decision is about. I'm asking you to vote yes in favor of the recommendation, the unanimous recommendation of your board of directors and your CFEC leadership team. You built it, you own it, and together we will all decide what comes next. Thank you. Now I am pleased to introduce the Conexon team to all of you today. Joining us for the event are Conexon co-CEO Jonathan Chambers, who's on stage with us. He's going to come up momentarily. And Carl Meyerhofer, sitting at the table over to my left, Senior Vice President of Business Development. Over the past months, I've worked incredibly close with Carl on this initiative, and you may have had the pleasure of speaking to him earlier at the table over to my left. Jonathan is widely considered one of the industry's foremost experts in broadband legislation and funding